Hello squirrels and welcome back to BPM6 TV. Today what it is German hypercardioids. I've got hypercardioids from three of Germany's best mic makers here for you. On the top there is a Schoeps CCM41. At the bottom is a Gefell M210, and in my hand, but shortly to be in there, is a Neumann KM185. Now, why hypercardioids? Well, I've recently done a load of videos with the Gefell M330 wide cardioid, and a very interesting set of videos. Do check them out. But that's kind of one end of the cardioid spectrum. So I thought, hey, how about returning to the sharper end, as it were, the hypercardioids. Now, two reasons for that. One, the general reason, which is you might always need a little bit more directivity to exclude stuff or to bring you a little bit nearer. That could be true in studio or in virtually any application, but particularly in location dialogue, where you're fighting the width of the camera shot, you're trying to get your mics as close as you can, and just that extra little bit of pull is what you're looking for, and you don't want to deploy a gun mic because of phasing issues, etc. indoors. So every location recordist who can afford it has got a good hypercardioid in their kit, and many of them have the Schoeps. And the reason for that is just the size. Well, the quality of the mic is exceptional, but the size of it is also a bonus. There's my mic in this mix. That's the 185, and they're not big mics, but the Schoeps is kind of, well, I don't know, it's less than half the size of that. Whereas the good old Gefell, kind of, it's a traditional interchangeable capsule mic. You know, you can screw on various capsules, and I've got the cardioid, and we'll have a listen to that later. But it's more traditionally built, to use it's Alexander McCall Smith expression. I mean, it's a good bit bigger than a 185. In terms of price, well, you might guess the cheapest is mine. That's the Neumann, round about £600 depending on the state of the market. The Gefell is closer to £1,000, although do remember it is interchangeable capsule, so it has that advantage, and also it has onboard switches, a pad and a bass roll-off. And the Schoeps, ready for this, £1,500. Inc the VAT. So quite a spread of almost 3-to-1 spread of prices. Now, the Schoeps is on loan from Martin at SoundKit. Thank you for that, Martin. He's a very kind man. And John Willett at soundlink.co.uk. They're the UK distributors of Gefell, has been kind enough to lend me the microphones. And it's not a sponsored channel. So I do like to say thanks to people. And if you mention my name, they'll add an extra 10 quid to the price. How about that? Anyway, let's try a bit of off-axis, shall we, while we got these two mics in the frame. So here I am at the 90 degrees, and we're trying to remember the shape of our polar diagram, and it's kind of got a lobe at the back because it's a hypercardioid. This is a long way round, and of course if you watch those Gefell M330 videos, you know, it's a wide cardioid, it's almost an omni, so the kind of off-axis stuff is still very well picked up. But one of the key determinants of why people spend a lot of money on their mics for dialogue, for film, is because of the quality of the off-axis. Because sound is going to be bouncing off the walls and the ceiling and the floors, the boundaries as it were. And how the microphone deals with that audio coming from the boundaries, and how it colours it, can be a big determinant of the quality of the mic, and therefore, you know, how much you really want to have one in your location bag. So I've swapped the Gefell out and put in the Neumann KM185, and it gives me a chance to show you the Gefell, the M210. It's got a switch on, two dip switches on the side there for a 10 dB pad and a bass roll-off. The capsule is replaceable, and there's a variety of capsules. I've got this hypercardioid and the cardioid to play with. As an idea in terms of size, there's the Neumann against the Gefell. Now, in terms of naming conventions, it's a little bit strange really, because Gefell call the amplifier body the 2000, and then I think the capsules are the 210, but when you join them together it becomes the M210. Why have a 2000 at all? But anyway, who knows? Some very clever man at Gefell has a very good reason, I'm sure. Anyway, I moved these slightly back. I've got a confession to make. I moved these slightly back because I did manage to pop the Schoeps in the first video, in the first section of the video. And I'm always concerned about popping the 185. And I'm probably unfair to the 184, 185. I've just had a couple of experiences on the negative side of popping them. And I'm not using a pop killer. I want to let you hear the mics as naked as I possibly can. Anyway, let's get round the side and have a 90 degrees on these two. Okay, 90 degrees across the Neumann KM185 and the Schoeps CCM41. I can't say that the Neumanns are a popular choice on location, and I think that may be due to the mechanical handling issues. It certainly isn't due to the sound quality, because I think the 184 and the 185 offer exceptionally good sound quality for the money. Again, reminding you that these are the cheapest of the bikes. Although my observation is that if you're a working sound recordist and you're on location week in, week out, and what happens is, you get a nice gig, you get a big gig, a drama series or something, you invest. That's what you do. When you're at the top of the game, you invest. And so, although the Schoeps may be 3 times the price, for a working sound recordist, that's probably irrelevant. If the advantage in weight, or if they prefer the sound, or whatever, for whatever reason, they want to deploy the best gear, and you can't blame them, because every day is a difficult day on set. And the last pair we have in the stand are the Neumann KM185 and the Gefell M210 Hypercardioid, and a chance to show you the mechanical genius of Mr. Schoeps. And I've got another Neumann here. This is the cardioid, but just to show you the relative sizes of the two microphones. Remarkable, really, isn't it? Now, back to the Neumann and the Gefell. These are kind of, in a sense, a family of microphones, in the sense that they both came from the Neumann company, and the war intervened, and Gefell, bit of Neumann were left on the other, so the communist side of the border. The whole story is a complex one, and of course now Neumann are made by Sennheiser, although it's the same tooling and so forth that makes the mics. But in a sense, the independence of the brand has gone, leaving really Gefell as the only, I don't know how, well, anyway, the only independent company with roots all the way back to the beginning of Neumann microphones. Not that that makes any difference. You're buying them to listen to, aren't you? Anyway, let's have a listen round at 90 degrees. And here we are, round at the 90 on the Gefell M210 at the top. And you might be able to, if you've got eagle eyes, just tell something which I think is quite interesting, which is the body of the mic and the capsule are slightly different finishes. The capsules are definitely kind of blacker than the bodies. I don't know why that is. Maybe, again, somebody will tell me. Whereas down at the bottom, we have the Neumann KM185. And this is your chance to make a judgment about the, I wouldn't say all important, but the very important off-axis performance of the microphones. And its background for the wrap. I think if you were just, I've got the 3 mics kind of here, I think the Schoeps and the Gefell are flatter, whereas the Neumann maybe has a little bit of a kick in the presence. I don't know whether you can hear that in terms of frequency response, but that's just my having a cursory glance at the diagrams tell you. I mean, in a sense, otherwise they're 3 very different mics, just in terms of their physical dimensions and their sort of pedigrees, as it were. So a good chance for you to say, look, here are 3 expensive, high quality, and nobody's going to get sacked for buying any of these microphones. Well, unless you go massively over budget because you buy the Schoeps and you've only got enough money for the Neumann. But I'm sure that's not the case. Anyway, thanks for coming. All the files will be on Patreon at 24-bit 96K should you want them. And do subscribe to BPM6. It does help. Thanks for dropping by. See you soon. Bye for now.